I'm excited to be here because this is an opportunity for me to speak about something that I love. It's something that I care about, and I think something that affects every single person in this room, and that's freedom, or as my mother would say, libertad. I'm a photographer, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a social activist, but most importantly, I'm Mexican and Salvadorian. And I'm so proud, every day more and more. But before you can see through my camera lens, I think it's important that you learn to see through the eyes of my mother, which is actually through here somewhere around here. There she is. I'm the son of two undocumented immigrants. My mother immigrated from a little community named Atencingo in the state of Puebla, Mexico. My father immigrated from Santa Ana, El Salvador. My father was escaping war, my mother was escaping poverty. So, I'm sure a lot of you know that, being an immigrant family in the United States, you kind of start at the very bottom of the totem pole. You work multiple jobs, you work really, really hard. My father, he was a newspaper boy, he was a delivery boy, he delivered pizzas. My mother, she was a nanny, a house cleaner, and she was my guardian angel. So one of the most beautiful memories that I have growing up was actually going to work with my mom. So we would wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. on Saturday mornings, and she would pull me out of bed, and we would take the subway all the way to the city. And I remember one day, we ended up working at a woman's house named Margot, and we were cleaning the floors, and I remember watching my mom bleach and scrubbing the floors. And I remember the irritation of the bleach on my skin because I was a little kid. And I remember thinking to myself, immigrants don't come into this country for opportunity. I think immigrants come into this country for a chance at opportunity. And that's something that I realized at a very, very young age. So my mother worked her whole life. We were never rich. We always had enough money for tortillas, enough money for frijoles, enough money for rice, but we didn't have enough money for me to go to college. So I had to hustle super, super, super hard to make sure that I made it to college. So my senior year in high school, I ended up applying to 50, 60 scholarships within Charlotte. Ended up getting around 20. Ended up getting Milo, Mercedes-Benz, Sam Walton. Pretty much everybody in the area gave me a scholarship. A few Latino organizations gave me a scholarship too. I think La Noticia won Student of the Year. In the Latin American Women's Association, which I think they're here somewhere. And I can share with you guys a super funny story. Out of all the scholarships, I realized how much the Latino organizations care about their students. Because I ended up sending a few thank you letters, and I sent one to La Noticia and I sent one to Lawa. It's funny, I printed it out and I mailed it to them. And then they sent it back to me with grammar edits. I was I'm not ready for college. Anyways, I ended up having so much money for school that we started to create these service trips back to my community in Mexico. So essentially I would collect a close group of friends, and we would go do service in my mother's hometown, which was really beautiful because I got a chance to really learn about my heritage. And that's when we met a little school named Emiliano Zapata. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this school. 124 elementary kids, cinder block school, poorest school in the whole town. And let me tell you, Atencingo is not your richest town ever. It's a sugarcane town. So this school was super, super poor. I remember sitting down on one of the desks, and I remember having to pull wood, little chips of wood from my leg. And I was oh my God, this is horrible. And the principal came up to me and he was Saul, you're so lucky, man, because had your mother not immigrated at such a young age, you would have sat in these desks too. And I was you're absolutely right. And he was do me a favor. Photograph our people. Photograph our students and show your mother her community. Because a lot of you know that, being the son of undocumented immigrants, your parents can't go anywhere because they're stuck here. So that's exactly what I did. I began to photograph joy, despair, and innocence. And that's when I realized that photography was how I could begin to show my mother the world. Anyways, I ended up coming back to the United States, super inspired and super in love with the school, but it was just like a really, really difficult time for Latinos. I think SB 1070 had just passed and my mother had lost her driver's license, which meant that if my little brother ended up waking up late one day, my mother couldn't drive my brother to school because if she got a citation, she would get deported. So that's terrifying. Not to mention the way we were being portrayed in the media was horrible. And I remember thinking to myself, like, how is it us being so hardworking and being so passionate and having to offer so much to the United States, how can people portray us like this? And it's because they didn't really know our communities. So I decided to do something with my ambition and my very limited photography skill sets. And I came up with a project called The Walk of the Immigrants, which gladly I just introduced. And I can speak to you guys about this forever. It was like the most incredible journey of my life, but I'm going to give you what it was. A very simple idea. I was going to walk across Latin America, the same journey that migrants make every single day. I was going to walk from Quito, Ecuador, all the way to Charlotte, North Carolina. And then I was going to use photography, and then I was going to show people our communities. Our mothers, our fathers, our brothers, our sisters, our architecture, our food, our markets, so that they can begin to fall in love with Latinos. And the most important piece is that I was going to sell those photographs to rebuild the school at Emiliano Zapata. So, obviously it started off like a very, very, very romantic idea of the journey that migrants make to get to the United States. And it was the most physical, mental, and emotional struggle of my life. I ended up walking all day, every day, and at night I would pretty much sleep anywhere that I could. I slept in churches, I slept in park benches, I slept by the oceans, pretty much any place that I could find a place to sleep. And everybody always asked me, like, Saul, did you really walk across all of Latin America? Kind of. I walked a lot, but there were some instances when, I had to jump on the back of a bus. And sometimes I actually ended up traveling with the Cunayala across Panama. We ended up canoeing across 7 days to make it all the way to Panama City. But I continued my journey and I began to photograph. I began to photograph our children, our textiles, our laughter, our markets. This is all Guatemala. And I kept walking and I kept walking and I kept photographing, trying to document our communities. And I began to capture our landscapes, our dances, our children, to give the United States a little glimpse into our communities. I want to share with you guys like a very special moment for me. Throughout my entire journey, everybody that I met, my mother, my family, priests, immigrants, strangers, they all told me the exact same thing. Never stay in a border town, no matter what you do. And I was like, okay. I'm sorry? Never stay in a border town, no matter what country you're in, because they're very dangerous. So I was crossing from Costa Rica to Nicaragua. Ended up getting to Nicaragua around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, so the sun was setting. And keep in mind, I had like a 40-pound backpack, and I'm thinking to myself, like, oh my God, this is like exactly what they were warning me about. So I'm like running around the entire town asking people, how do I get out of here? How do I make it to Managua? And they were like, sorry man, you're out of luck, there are no more buses. The last one just filled up, and he points at it. And I see it, and it was like the most packed bus I've ever seen in my life. But there was like a ladder on the back, so I ran as quickly as I could, and I jumped on the back of the bus, right? So there I am with a 40-pound backpack on this bus that looks like it was about to break down. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm okay. I'm made it, I'm gonna get out of here. And we start accelerating 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, and I look back to just see the town that I'm leaving. And it was crazy because I saw this little girl running after the bus. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like dehydrated, so I thought she was like a hallucination, And she's like running and she's running so quickly. And I'm like, oh my God, this girl's running so fast. And then she jumps on the back of the bus with me. And I'm like, oh my God, you're not real. And she was like, hola, señor. And I'm like, oh my God, do I speak this? And she's she's like, hola, señor, ¿cómo te llamas? And I'm over here like traumatized, you know? And she's like, señor, ¿cómo te llamas? And I'm like, Saul? And then she starts laughing hysterically, you know? And she has like ponytails and she's missing like front teeth and everything. It was crazy. And she's like laughing and she's laughing. And she was like, Saul, ¿a dónde vas? And I was like, don't worry about where I'm going. I think you should get off the bus. You're going to fall down, you're going to get hurt. And she's just laughing, and she was like, Saul, ¿a dónde vas? And I'm like, I'm going to the United States. And she keeps laughing hysterically. And I'm like, oh my God, she's a hallucination. She has to be a hallucination. And then she was like, Saul, do you know Maria Juanita? And I'm like, no, I don't know Maria Juanita. I'm sure there's 1,000 Maria Juanitas in the United States. And she's laughing and she's laughing. And then she looks up to me and she's like, Saul, Maria Juanita is my mother. And she left for the United States 10 years ago. And if you see her, tell her that I love her and that she should come home. And those are the stories that you don't hear about in the news. Those are the stories that are forgotten every single day. And it's important that all of us remember and never forget the sacrifices that people make for our freedom. I ended up walking across Ecuador, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Belize, Guatemala, Mexico. And when I finally made it back to the United States, I was broadcasted in more than 140 cities across the nation. I was featured on NPR, MSNBC, I gave a TEDx, and I've been traveling around the entire United States giving presentations to college students. And the most beautiful, beautiful part about this project is that we ended up selling enough photographs to rebuild the school that Miguel was about. Which is incredible because as I was graduating college, they were graduating in a brand new school too, with brand new desks. And everybody always asks me, Saul, why did you create the Walk of Immigrants? And it's simple, it's the same reason why people come into this country every single day, to reach the land of freedom. Thank you.